we've got the stages of the data available. If I talk about Oracle, for example, or SQL Server, or Excel, or Access, these are my data houses. The typical RDBMS shows up over here, that is RDBMS, Relational Database Management System. That's here, and DBMS comes in over here. Excel is no way closer to RDBMS or DBMS in that case. Excel has got a data house available, which talks about raw data. But we work with Excel quite often, day in, day out, we work with Excel. Until the time our job is there, we'll work with Excel for our data needs. Big data is controlled over here or here. So these two talk about Relational Database Management System. This talks about DBMS, Database Management System. Excel is a little below this because we find raw data over here. This is maintained by end users. Because it is maintained by end users, it is logical to have the data spread around as per the choice of every user in that case. One, they will not know the technical way data has to be organized. Two, the requirements of the data will be quite prompt. Therefore, they'll always work with the data the way it is required, for example, and try to design the data based on their needs. Also design the data based on the customer needs. Also design the data based on internal managers or the stakeholders' needs. Therefore, the output of the data will change for the same file. For different users, output will be different. The file is same. Therefore, there's quite a challenge available there, how to present the report finally. There are some norms set up on the internet by some companies and by some other companies. If you try to combine all the norms together, there can be 100 norms available. But then we have to come up with some fine points available by which we can say, okay, fine, this kind of report should be looking nice to me, better to me. Same goes with PowerPoint. When we present the data in PowerPoint, there are hundreds of ways to present the data over there. But PowerPoint is a summary of the data. We're not talking about that right now. I'm just talking about the number of ways that can be there as per the user. If I talk about the DBMS, they have to follow a system in this case. RDBMS and DBMS, they have to follow a system in this case. But here, there is no system available. So everybody's report is the best report, the way they like it, the way we like it, the way anyone else likes it. There has to be a standard available by which we can always create some kind of a report that will look nice. But before that, the collection of the data and organization of the data is very important. So first and foremost, we must see how these applications work on a surface level. We can't go into the detail of this. Even 2 days are not good for this understanding because we're not going into the engineering of the database collection over there. We're not going to do that right now. Ultimately, we have to work in Excel and we won't have the support of this engineering over here because we won't have the support of that RDBMS over here. So why should I learn all these things available there? But then, because the concept followed by RDBMS and DBMS is a really good one, we can bring in some concepts from there and land over here with the refined data that we have. So the raw data that we have, we've got to refine that first of all. I'll push in the limits that we work with Excel to some extent and create some solution of the data set available, for example, with very, very minimum attributes that we can apply over here. Because Excel has not got those features. Excel has not got those features that can support me RDBMS or DBMS in that case. But then as a technical user or a technical guide, I can probably create some kind of data with the set technology available in Excel to give me refined data. So we create the fine reports based on our choices in this case. Our passage, therefore, is going to be to first of all collect the data properly and put that in one place. Before we go into that, let's talk to all of you a minute or two so that we can get the idea about this. What are we into in Excel day-to-day working, for example? All you have to answer is, what are you working with in Excel, for example? How many years of work in Excel? And do you use these options available here? Conditional formatting, data tables, pivots, and charts. I'd like to have the inputs on these available there so I can get the idea about what is your scoring on this. So I'll just create a small table over here. That is this one, for example. So we have conditional formatting, data tables, and that goes up over here. Pivot tables and charts. These are the topics we are covering right now. And we'll have the inputs on these. How well do we know these topics? Whatever the level of our learning might be, I'll be covering these topics in detail. If I go for a little intermediate part on this, for example, we got something called very important tool called Power Query. Although we can't finish that in 2 days also, but we pick up some strength from there to build up our data in such a way that we can really organize the data very fast and very smartly in that case. So we'll try to compare what we can do here and here compared to Power Query. Power Query doesn't have conditional formatting available, but data organization is quite strong over there. So let me please have a feel from all of you one by one as to what is the level that we are working with right now on the scale of 1 to 5, for example, or simple talking, for example, how much do we know about data tables, formatting, query, pivot tables, and charts? How often do we work in these areas? So let's start with, so what's your call on data tables, conditional formatting, and these topics? Yep. Over to you.
Hi, I'm always working with data tables. I would say at least 10 years, conditional formatting.
Hey, you know, ZaranTech now offers SAP corporate training. That's right. Train your workforce in SAP with our comprehensive program. We offer customized courses, certified trainers, and hands-on labs for both individuals and businesses. Our standout features: bespoke training, fully configured servers for practice, in-house materials, and a dedicated LMS. Plus, get session recordings and 24/7 support. From functional to technical modules, we have got it all. Choose ZaranTech for SAP training and watch your team excel. Learn, upskill, succeed with ZaranTech.
Very not often. Power Query, I don't have experience with it. I work with pivot tables almost every day, and charts as well.
Okay. So I can. Okay, let's keep it like that. What kind of charts do you make in Excel? What kind of charts do you make in Excel?
Sorry, just charts from the pivot table information.
Okay, like your column chart and the bar chart and all that?
Yes.
Okay, fine. That should be okay. Thank you so much. So what's your call on these topics?
Data tables, you can give me 2, conditional formatting 3, Power Query, no, I have no idea. Pivot tables, I can do it from the Excel pivot, like insert pivot, but I want to do with the formulas. So charts, 3. I use bar graphs mostly.
Okay.
Data tables and Power Query, I have no clue. Remaining all, I have basic awareness, like day-to-day, like pivot tables mostly I use. Remain conditional formatting, charts, randomly, like as need basis, I tried but those are all basic.
Is that fine? Should I place it like this?
Is it out of 5, right?
5 out of 5.
Yeah, I will keep it as 2. Yeah, pivot table charts 2 and conditional formatting 1.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you,
so data
Thank you,
table
sir.
probably, yeah, data table probably 2, conditional formatting 2, Power Query, I don't use it, pivot tables 2, and chart 1.
Okay. Should be fine.
Yes, I would say, just a moment. I would say for data tables, it would be 4. For conditional formatting, 3. I've no idea what Power Query is, so 0 or 1, I suppose. And pivots, I would say 3. I use insert pivot, but I don't know how to do it with the formulas. And charts, I would say 2.
Okay, in combo, what are the expectations that you have? So when you heard about this particular course, for example, executive reporting, what is the kind of idea you had for this, for example? Anyone, any input for that matter? Fine. So let's go further. So first we try to walk about the data preparation. For example, we have a raw data available, for example, in general. We then do the data preparation over here. And then we use tools to have the final report available there. That's the path we have. We first talk about the raw data. We'll discuss that just now. And then we do data preparation, how to do that. For example, these are the methods of data preparation and presentation also. And then we do reports in this case using these options over here. That is the objective. So trying to see what best we can pick up from here. In case you find some areas where you think you want to apply some learning of Excel also to put to use, for example, because some people, it might be important to apply sum ifs and count ifs available because of the live pivot table that we might have. But good news is that we've got the live pivot table available already in Excel. Many of you would know that, and I'll share that also with you, that live pivot table is already there in Excel. I don't have to refresh pivot table. I can get the live pivot table right away only without having to apply sum ifs and count ifs. Although we will see the way how it is done with count ifs and sum ifs also, so that we can know the difference between the standard pivot table and the formula-based pivot table. But the other one which has come up in Excel recently, 3 months ago, even more than that, that also is a good tool available called Pivot By and Group By. Quick shot on the application over here. Control box available here, for example, as usual. We can see control box in this case. All of us know this very well. Minimize, maximize, restore button and the cross button. Share option for the OneDrive. If I share the file with some people, I can always work with the comments. When I work with the comments with the shared person, for example, who happens to be a GC over here, guest contributor in this case, I can then send my communication to the person without the Teams package, without the Teams application, and work directly over here. So my communication can go directly from here using a comment section over here. So I can communicate with the person live and get to a one-to-one call available there, so that we can discuss over a particular sheet and work on the data set available and then close the communication. So that is the objective of comments and share of the file over here. Once we share the file, we can do communication with the person over there and have the communication directly without leaving Excel, going to Teams or going to WhatsApp and trying to work on that. We can work directly over here. So let's see what to apply in this case.
Sorry, can I interrupt one second? I have a 2019 Excel 2019. Is that fine? I see that you have the advanced version that you
2019 is fine, absolutely fine.
Okay.
Though I'll be covering some advanced topics also, you might not have pivot by and group by in your case, but we'll not base our training on that, but I'll tell you what are these options.
Sure, thank you.
Yeah, I have to ask you finally what versions you have when I come to the version shortly. So the file name appears over here. Access toolbar that is available here normally has been transferred here by me. So I don't have to club these options here, crowding the title bar over here, so that my title bar is fairly free. Green bar for Excel, blue for Word, and red for PowerPoint. That's the title bar. And then we got the tabs available over here. These are the tabs we can see in this case. That's a ribbon band over here. That's a ribbon band over here that we can find across up to here. And from here, we can find it up to here. That's a ribbon band that we can see over here. Complete thing is called ribbon over here. The quick access toolbar has been transferred here. I told you it is normally here. I put that over here so I can free my space on the title bar. That's our formula bar over here. That's a formula bar. And that's a name box, a tiny mini name box over here. Number of columns are 16384. And number of rows are 1048576. A million plus rows available in Excel. Every sheet contains these many rows and these many columns. The last column on the right side is XFD. Last column on the right side is XFD. Number of sheets are unlimited. In one file, we can have unlimited sheets available there. I worked with a max of 300 sheets in one file, and that was not very slow. It was slow in the beginning, but then I requested the organization to buy a better computer for that, because with 300 sheets, we can work on 8 GB RAM. So it's a good buy to work with 32 GB RAM in that case. That's what we purchased at that time, and that worked quite smooth. So Excel files can be unlimited, can be having unlimited sheets available there. I worked on max of 300 sheets, and that has been a regular affair, not once or twice only. For the testing purpose, it was a regular affair. It was a business requirement that we worked on. So that is possible. The only thing is you have to upgrade your machine in that case so that it works fine and doesn't have any problem in that case. But this, on a standard machine, will be slow. Yeah, that's the architecture of Excel. Coming to the version over here, we can go here. File, account. Then if I go here, for example, I can find this is my product available there. That is a product available here. 365 is not a version, it's a product. Version is 2409, that's September 24. September 24 version, that is my latest version that I've got over here. And that's the current channel. These are the versions: 2013, 16, 19, 21, 24 is the latest one that is there in the market right now. That's what is there. These are the versions that we say. But this one is a product. 365 is a product available. The version for this is month-wise. So I have got the product called 365 over here, and the version that I've got is 2409. So if that is the version, then this is a version here. These are the versions for the years. You can buy a package here, for example, once, and sit with the package for about next 7 to 8 years. After that, it might become slightly slow because the application would be really high at that time, and the support will not be highly available. Although on the basic level, the support is available all the times. But then you might need to make a change after 5 to 7 years. This version, for example, 365 is regular update, for example. That will never have a problem available as far as the updates are concerned. And this also contains my Copilot over here, which indicates I've got my AI tool available right from Microsoft available over there. We'll see some of the features of Copilot also, because that's the latest one, so we must see how this also works really. Control page up to go to previous sheet, control page down to go to next sheet. Page up previous sheet, page down next sheet. Now when I start organizing the data, raw data that is there, I got to have the data preparation over here. Generally speaking, if I want to collect my data here, for example, which is my water company, the use case is the water company over here, the mineral water company that is there, for example, that is what we are trying to work with. And trying to do a report of the company, for example, over the number of years and the months, what has been the sale around, and what are the products the company sells, for example. We're going to discuss about that. 100 ml is the capacity of the bottles that we have, small bottles. 1 liter, 2 liter, 5 liters, a big bottle. And then 200 ml, 500 ml are mid bottles, mid size. These are small size, these are mid size, and these are large. Small units, small and medium, and large. They have a database available like that, and they had is the typical working that we did with the company over here. So they had big database available. We then converted that to normalize the data. What is normalize the data? Data in different variants were available with them. Then we discussed with them, why do you have so many variants available? They said, we have like that only. But then we realized they could really pack up into some product groups in that case, which they did not have earlier. So we defined the groups for them. Could they not do it themselves? They were actually into the legacy system, at which time the computers were not there. It is since then.
What sets ZaranTech apart in SAP corporate training? It's our unique blend of expertise and innovation. We offer customized courses tailored to each client's needs, ensuring relevant, targeted learning. Our vast trainer database brings you wisdom from the best in the field. Need resources? Access our extensive training material repository anytime. We are all about measurable results, providing detailed student metrics to track progress. And we don't just teach, We build community. Join our thriving social media network, connecting learners beyond boundaries. With ZaranTech, you are not just training, you are transforming your SAP expertise.
Then they were working on the same system and they were realized they could make the categories also. They had only brought two categories. One is the packet, that was a big packet. One is the open bottles. That is what they were selling at that time to the retailers also. Therefore, they never had the category beyond that. But then when we discussed with the solution development for them, for example, we realized they could further divide into various categories, and then we could really get the sale available of those categories individually in that case. And that's how it formed like that. And these were further having some more segments over there. We clubbed that together and found it like that. To collect the data in conventional way, I would like to copy this like this. Let's please try that. Paste like this. Then select the data like that. Copy. Paste it over here. Select the data like that. Copy. Paste it over here. And so on. I'm pressing Ctrl Z to go back. So that takes a lot of time to collect the data like that and copy paste from various files. For example, there were different files available over there. When you try to study the data for any company, for example, because you're going to prepare the reports in that case, and you're possibly the MIS person, Management Information Systems Executive, for example, or the responsible leader, for example, for MIS purpose, for example, you might need to collect the data and organize the data in such a way that the data is well organized. Since all of you have mentioned you worked in pivot tables somewhere or the other, pivot table is always used by most of the people over here. That we can see in this case. That means you must be aware, whatever level you're working at, no problem. You must be completely aware that pivot table requires the kind of final data that we work with. We can't work with the pivot table with the raw data in that case. That means we got to have the near final data available for pivot table and charts. And charts will further have the summaries available, created either by pivot table or directly also with the functions. So charts will finally have the final data available. So the level of the data was quite raw at this particular point. Then we try to have some conditional formatting available. Then Power Query is a very nice tool available there, which can give us the collection of the data together like that. And then the reports in that case. We'll be covering these sections. Whatever time we close here, we'll be covering this part. If we close 15 minutes early, we'll close it at that time only. Important part is to sit with that kind of data and try to understand what have we understood. And then we work with the pivots and charts, give entire time to pivots and charts exclusively. So whatever part we finish, we start with pivots. So we realize that all of us know pivot to some extent, which means that the data set available there, for example, would be to the level of prepare data in that case. That means we are supposed to work with the prepare data in that case, which is why when I go here, for example, control page up, when I go here, I'm supposed to collect the data like that. So let's go here. If I try, for example, a vstack function in Excel, this might not be there with some people over there. Don't worry. We can copy paste also. We don't have to work with this data over here. It's already collected with me. I'm just trying to tell you how to collect the data. Array 1. So what I've got over here is I've got a vstack here, which might not be there with everyone over there, but I'm just telling you what is Excel offering, for example. So I can collect my array 1 over here, comma, array 2 from here, comma, array 3 from here. And we can see the 3 arrays are collected over here. Close the bracket, enter, and we get the entire data like that. Can you see that? So that's a function that is there in Excel, for example, that guides me about how to collect the data from different locations vertically. We have a vertical stack available like that. In case there's a data continued like that, for example, with a gap available, they might have something like January 2 columns, February 2 columns, March 2 columns, and the gap between Jan, Feb, and March. We want to collect the data horizontally, then we can try edge stack in that case. We can then try edge stack in that case. That's a very, very small part available, how to collect the data. Because collection of the data is important. So I got to bring the entire data set into one file, for example, be it the other files or be it the other tabs or be it the simple tables in the same tab like this one. So I've taken my example from the same tab only. From same tab only, I've taken different tables over here, and that becomes one table over here. So our first part, as I mentioned earlier, is collection of the data that we need to talk about. We collect the data in the first place. Having done that there, for example, I can see the same data is available here also and here also. So that is there with you. Don't have to worry about in case you can't find the option to V-stack the data. But that is the option that is available in Excel as of now. It's been about 2-3 years now. This option is available, by virtue of which we can collect the data and apply this over here. That's what we can find over here. Now, having done that over here, when the data is here, for example, I can see there are some dealer names. There's some product information over here. Some dealer names over here. Customer information over here. Now, that one is a quite well organized data over here. That is not the case normally. But as I mentioned earlier also, since I'm in the MI section, I have to really prepare the report for my stakeholders, for example, or the customers, for example. So I have to be really ready with my data. I would like to have the clean data available in that case. Whatever mistakes that were there, errors that were there, I have eliminated those and created the system by which I can find these data in a proper order in that case. So just in case you happen to have some mistakes in the data, for example, and try to find some errors in that case, let me tell you how to handle this now. So let's try to do a copy on this and work with this. So please copy this entire data. Control A now. Please press Control A, then Control C to copy. Bring down over here and enter to paste. Copy paste is Control C and Control V, but Control C and enter also. So let's start the action. Let's go to the Masters tab over here. Pick up the data here, for example, Control C, then click the cell over here. Try to keep the same address so that we can talk about the same address all the time. Click the cell over here, press enter to paste that over here. Please do it now. Having done that, for example, over here, suppose I go to the next one here, copy paste here, and say I set the target for 25 over here. And that is, for example, 30% plus, for example. So if I say equal to this plus, or I can say equal to this multiply by 1.3, for example, that's about 30% plus. I double click that, for example, over here and get that. So please try this now. That's the formula I'm applying over here. I-22 multiplied by 1.3, that's 30% on the data that we have over here. So please try that now.